Have you ever seen arrogance clash with sacrifice? Imagine a boy raised to think the world revolves around him, spoiled, careless, entitled. Then picture a single father, a battle-hardened veteran who now stands guard over the tomb of the unknown soldier, carrying the weight of honor in silence. When their worlds collide in one shocking moment, respect, humility, and love are tested like never before. What happens next will leave you speechless and maybe change how you see family, discipline, and the meaning of sacrifice forever. The sun was blazing over Arlington National Cemetery. Tourists shuffled quietly, their voices hushed out of respect as the tall, solemn guard marched before the tomb of the unknown soldier. Each step echoed with discipline, a rhythm of duty carved into every line of his face. That guard was Daniel Carter, a decorated veteran who had served 3 tours overseas. Life hadn't been kind to him. His wife passed away during his second deployment, leaving him to raise his son, Ethan, alone. To Daniel, guarding the tomb wasn't just a job. It was a promise to honor those who had given everything. Every shift was sacred, every step a tribute to brothers and sisters he had lost. But that day, the silence cracked. A loud laugh pierced through the crowd. A teenager in designer clothes, phone in hand, strutted arrogantly past the respectful onlookers. He rolled his eyes at the ceremony and muttered, "What's the point? It's just some dead guy nobody even knows. Waste of time." Gasps filled the air. Parents clutched their children closer. But the boy Jason Miller, spoiled son of a wealthy politician, smirked, enjoying the attention. He leaned against the railing, mocking the precision of the guard's steps. "What are you, some robot? You get paid to walk back and forth all day? Must be real tough." Daniel's jaw tightened, but his march never faltered. Years of training had taught him discipline, silence, and restraint. But when Jason's voice grew louder, mocking the dead, mocking the honor Daniel lived for, he finally stopped. The ceremonial click of his heel echoed like thunder. He turned his head sharply, eyes piercing into Jason's. "Respect the unknown. Silence in the presence of the fallen." His voice was deep, commanding, carrying decades of pain and pride. But Jason laughed. "Or what? You'll give me detention? You're just some wannabe soldier playing dress-up." The crowd gasped again. Some whispered about calling security, others recorded on their phones. And in that frozen moment, Daniel faced not just an entitled boy but everything wrong with the world his own son was growing up in. Inside, a storm brewed. Daniel thought of Ethan, waiting at home, doing his homework, respecting every lesson his father drilled into him. Would he grow up to face kids like this? Would he one day lose respect for the values Daniel fought to protect? He could feel the heat of anger, but also the ache of responsibility. This wasn't about pride anymore. This was about teaching. And so Daniel did something unexpected. He stepped forward, breaking the silent line between soldier and civilian. His eyes locked on Jason, steady and unflinching. The entire crowd held its breath. "Son," Daniel said firmly, "you have no idea the price of freedom. But you're about to learn." Jason's smirk faltered for the first time. And that was only the beginning. Jason's father, Senator Miller, arrived shortly after being called about the incident. Angry, red-faced, and embarrassed, he tried to smooth things over with money and excuses. "He's just a kid," he said dismissively, patting his son's shoulder. "Boys will be boys. Don't take it so seriously." But Daniel's gaze never wavered. "With respect, sir," he replied, "disrespect at a cemetery isn't just misbehavior. It's dishonor. And dishonor can destroy a man before he ever lives." The senator rolled his eyes, pulling Jason toward their car. But Daniel's words had already planted something deep inside the boy's shame. He had never been spoken to like that, not by a man who radiated such calm strength. That night, Jason couldn't sleep. Every time he closed his eyes, he saw the soldier's face. He thought of the heavy silence, the row upon row of graves, the quiet tears of people who had lost fathers, mothers, sons. And for the first time, his arrogance didn't feel powerful, it felt hollow. The next morning, Jason did something no one expected. He returned. He found Daniel after his shift, standing near the gates with his son, Ethan. Nervously, Jason approached. His voice cracked. Sir? About yesterday. I'm sorry. I didn't understand. Daniel studied him for a long moment, then placed a hand on Ethan's shoulder. Respect isn't about understanding, son. It's about humility. But since you came back, maybe you're ready to learn. And so began a transformation. Over the next weeks, Jason visited often. Daniel invited him to help clean the grounds, place flowers, even listen to veterans' stories. Jason saw men missing limbs, women carrying medals with tears in their eyes, families who still waited for soldiers who would never come home. Slowly, the boy who once mocked silence learned to stand in it, bow his head, and feel its weight. But the greatest change came one Saturday. Daniel took Jason and Ethan to a small memorial wall, where names of fallen comrades were etched in stone. He pointed to one. That was my best friend. He saved my life. He'll never meet his kids, never hug his wife again. That's why I guard this tomb. Not for me. For him. For all of them. Jason swallowed hard, his eyes burning. For the first time in his life, he realized money, status, and arrogance meant nothing compared to sacrifice. He turned to Daniel, voice breaking. I want to be better. I don't want to be that kid anymore. Daniel nodded, his heart softening. Then start by living with honor. It's never too late. By the end of the summer, Jason wasn't the same entitled boy. He became more thoughtful, kinder, even protective of Ethan, who now looked up to him like an older brother. The boy who once mocked the tomb now defended its honor fiercely, correcting anyone who dared whisper disrespect. And when the time came for Jason to leave for school, he stood tall before Daniel, saluted him clumsily, and whispered, "Thank you for teaching me what my father never did." Daniel returned the salute, pride swelling in his chest. For him, it wasn't just about guarding the dead anymore, it was about guiding the living. The story of Jason and Daniel reminds us that respect isn't taught through lectures or wealth, it's shown through sacrifice, discipline, and love. Sometimes, it takes one person's strength to break another's arrogance. And sometimes, the loudest lesson comes not from anger, but from honor.